Excellent. Thank you so much for coming out, everybody. I want to get us started here with a land acknowledgement. So as we gather virtually even, we want to acknowledge that we gather on the traditional land of the Kumeyaay peoples, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who stewarded it throughout the generations. My name is Aaron Bullard, and I am on the board of the directors for the Choral Consortium San Diego. And we are a service organization composed of choruses and individuals who support the choral art form throughout San Diego County. We are a 501c3 nonprofit and welcome donations if you are so moved to help support the choral community and choral art in San Diego. And if you enjoy programs like this one and want to see them keep coming, you can find that link in the webinar chat as well as the YouTube video if you're joining us after the fact. I wanted to go ahead and have our two guests introduce themselves. We'll start with Gina, please. Just a little bit about yourself.
All right. My name is Gina Seashore. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the founder, director of Ramona Community Singers, among other musical jobs in the community.
Excellent. And Justine.
I am Justine Hansen, she, her, and I'm here representing the CSUSM Cougar Chorus. That's our new nickname this evening.
Very cool, very cool. All right, so as we talked about, you guys will be interviewing each other. I will drop the first question that Gina will be asking into the chat and leave you guys to it.
All right, and Justine, what is your favorite holiday tradition?
Oh, fun. We were just talking about this off camera, but I'll share now. Some of you have seen on my Facebook, we post an annual mall Christmas tree picture in my family, and it's a tradition that we started when our oldest, who's 6.5 now, was just a baby. We showed up at the mall, naive parents, thinking we were going to get that Santa pic, and we saw how dang expensive those pics were and the super long line, and we said, forget about it. So we went to the backside of the tree on the opposite side of Santa and asked a random stranger to take our photo. And then we went and spent our money at the Cheesecake Factory instead. And so we've continued to do that every year since then. And it's really fun and something we look forward to. We call it Crash the Christmas Tree because we're crashing the Santa display and doing our own thing for free. So Gina, how about you? What is your favorite holiday tradition?
Well, one of the things that I like to do is to go see some sort of a Christmas or holiday play every year. And I've gone to see The Grinch at the Old Globe. And this year I'm going to go see A Christmas Carol at the Signet Theater down in Old Town.
I am I really want to go see The Grinch. I've never done it. And I feel like my kids are
It's fun.
Now they would totally get into it. All right, Gina, are you asking me the next question?
I think you're asking me the next one.
Okay. What is the most used app on your phone?
Oh dear. I think it has to be Google. I love to learn things. And I'm very curious. And when I hear about something, I love Google because I can just look it up on the spot and find out what I need to know. I mean, just about everything. And one of the things that I wish I'd had growing up was Google. I probably would have been addicted a lot sooner than I am, but I love learning things. So it's been a great help.
Say probably the same. I'm really similar in that I am always like, oh, I'm gonna look that up. Oh, I'll look that up. And I remember actually in college when like I don't know, Google was around before then, but I really got into it. I would just stay up so late on my laptop just looking up random stuff, because I could just go down rabbit holes learning and learning. So yeah, that's kind of the place I'm into is Google's my favorite. And then I wish I could say I spent time, like reading my Kindle app, but Facebook, I spend a lot of time there too.
Me too. All right. And what is your favorite meal to prepare at home? Oh, and I see
my buddy Ellie. I think Pizza. We all love pizza in our house, and so pizza is one of my favorites to make for everybody. All the toppings, all the flavors. We're having pizza tonight. That's our favorite, right?
By the way, it's dinner time.
I'll be down in a little bit.
Can I go with you?
Perfect timing for this question, right?
Christina, how about you? What do you like to prepare at home?
Well, I actually have to say I like having other people prepare things at home because I'm not really a great cook. But one of the things I like to make is chicken curry. I used to have a friend, or I had a friend a long time ago from Burma who showed me how to make great curry. And I make chicken curry over rice, and that's just kind of my go-to comfort food when I want something I know will turn out right. But I have to say, during the pandemic, it's been a little bit different. I've been trying out new recipes and gaining lots of COVID pounds.
I'm gonna have to email you for your chicken curry recipe, because
All
that's
right.
one that I've tried to make and I haven't quite perfected it. It sounds like you've got it figured out.
All right. All right. And Justine, who or what inspired you to pursue music?
I've had so many people along the way who inspired me, and I think it's not just any one person, but all of these people along the way have given me like little pieces and tidbits to go on. My piano teacher that I started with from elementary school all the way through high school, she taught me how to be diligent and practice and work hard. And my voice teacher gave me the confidence I was really lacking when I came to her in 9th grade and was really insecure about my voice and going through puberty, which affects young girls just as it does boys. So she really gave me the confidence that I could be a singer. And in college, my music education choral methods teacher, Dr. Chris Peterson, who he was back at UW Milwaukee when I was his student, and now he's at Fullerton. He taught me so much about how to be a thoughtful teacher and to take care of the people in my classroom. And Dr. Sharon Hansen taught me how to have beautiful conducting gesture, and another professor, Professor Gloria Hansen, really helped me see the beauty in treble chorus. I think when I started college and I wasn't put into that top ensemble and I was put in the treble chorus, I felt like it was like a insult a little bit. It's like, I want to sing with the boys. I want to have the full SATB sound, but she chose beautiful, outstanding rep, and she held us to such a high level of musicianship, and I respect her so much. And she sparked a passion for treble chorus in my heart. There's others, but that's to name a few.
Yeah.
How about you? Who's inspired you? Or
I would, there's to go into music. That is an interesting question because I started out on the piano. Actually, I started out on the accordion when I was 6. And then I went to piano. And by the time I was in the 5th grade, I was accompanying different choir groups at school, and that continued all the way through high school. And so everybody thought I was going to go into music. However, when I got to college, I started at the University of Puget Sound up in Tacoma, Washington, and I didn't really want to go into music, and I took a couple of the classes and wasn't thrilled about. I didn't want to be a performer per se, or I didn't really want to teach at that time anyway. And so I formed a jazz group up there and we sang and had some fun, but I took business classes. So I've come into music by way of several other careers in the meantime. And but then the one thing that got me back into it actually was my daughter actually went through a divorce, and I needed to figure out a way to be sort of self-employed and support my daughter and all that. And so I started teaching private piano. And then I met some other teachers along the way. I got to study with Alice Parker, and she convinced me that I didn't need to have a conducting degree exactly to lead a community chorus, for instance. And I ran into Duncan Lorian, who taught or teaches the understanding of music, which is an amazing course. And then he taught the understanding of singing and just put everything into a very easy to understand way. And it helped me not only teach piano, but to teach people that are singing how to read music and enough at least to sing in an amateur chorus. And so those people inspired me to go ahead and do some music. So it's kind of grown from there. But I've pretty much been involved in community music my whole life. So it's kind of a different area.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right. I'm struggling to remember whose turn it is.
I think it's yours, but
now I ask you.
Take it away.
What is your favorite memory of a performance you gave or led?
Gave or led. Okay. Let's see. I was in a performance 2 years ago, before the pandemic hit, that I was actually in. One of my bucket list items was to go join this chorus that had members from all over Europe. And my daughter and I went and sang Mozart's Requiem on the night of Mozart's death in a cathedral in Vienna, Austria. And it was absolutely amazing. I mean, it was very cold, but we got chills from just being there with the orchestra and a full audience and being in this wonderful cathedral and great acoustics and singing Mozart's Requiem. So as far as one I've been in, that was a highlight for me. And one that our group, Ramona Community Singers, gave was at Veterans Hospital over in La Jolla. And we were in this little tiny alcove off of the lobby, and all kinds of patients, doctors, everybody going by. And really, I think it was truly inspiring. We had a man on a gurney come by, and people were wheeling him by, and he made them stop so he could hear us sing. And we had a psychiatrist at the hospital actually look up our Facebook page and send us a message afterwards saying that we had inspired her to remember why she worked at Veterans Hospital. And then one of our members sang a solo of God Bless America, and all the veterans stood there and clapped afterwards. And, tears were running down everybody's faces. So that had to be one of the most inspiring choral performances that Ramona Community Singers has done. How about you?
Oh, there are so many. I think I'll talk about the one that was most recent, and that was with the CSU SM Singers just this past Monday. So a week ago, I guess now. Mm-hmm. I've been directing this group for a few years, and also thrown in there in the middle of directing this group was COVID. So that was a weird time for all of us. Mm-hmm. But this most recent concert, I felt like the group finally, we had kind of like reached our moment of, okay, we can do this. This is a very small music department. It's growing and it's exciting, and it's got so much promise. And I think for me, at least, this was the first time I really felt from all the singers in the group too, that so many of them were like, oh, I get it. I get this is what choral music can be and should be. And, there's been choirs that I've directed before where every single person in the room wasn't necessarily like at the same like locked in level of like being here for the same reason, right? Every single singer in this concert stepped up, not 1 or 2 steps, but like 10 steps for the concert. It was moving. It was musical. I was so very proud of them, and I really hope that this is kind of like setting a standard for like where this program can go from here on out.
It's so great when it all comes together like that. It just, there's magical
Yeah, it was
moments like
magic.
that.
Yeah.
There's some that aren't, but when it all comes together, it's great. All right. Okay, next question. Let's see. What is your secret non-musical passion?
I don't know if this is a secret, but I love pets and I love my dogs. And right now I'm sort of obsessed with my golden doodle Lulu. And she's like my fourth baby. I've got 3 kids, but I just love on her like she's my fourth baby. And besides Lulu the dog, it's a good thing my husband like keeps things real in our house, because we would have goats and a turtle and a koi pond and maybe some bunnies and that cat, if it weren't. So I love pets. I was obsessed with getting a koi pond. I wanted to dig a hole in our yard, and I was like, it'll be beautiful, water fountain. And he's like, oh, they're dirty. Do you know how much work it is? Like, I'm like, it'll be fine. So for my birthday 2 years ago now, my kids and husband got me a betta fish. And his name is Lowell Mason, named after the Godfather, music education.
Great.
Lowell is our betta fish, and he was, he was supposed to be my consolation prize for no koi pond yet.
No.
But we love Lowell. We all love our betta fish, Lowell.
That's great. All right.
And how about you? What's your secret non-music passion?
Non-music, I have a lot. I have a lot of things I love to do, and I don't know they're all so secret either. But you reminded me that we just adopted another dog like Saturday, and we already had one. We've had one for a year now during the pandemic. Ricky, he's a Doxador. And he is part lab and part dachshund. Don't ask how that happened, but anyway, he's just turned out to be awesome. But Saturday, we were over at the adoption place that's actually Frosted Faces up here in Ramona, where they have senior dogs for adoption. So the one we adopted last year is 9. And there was a dog there. They had a garage sale of dog goodies, beds and harnesses and just about every dog thing that had been donated to them that they were selling. And I was looking at that, but then this little dog came up to me and just, followed me around for an hour. And so I ended up, now we're fostering him. And he's a 15-year-old Chihuahua male. And somebody dropped him off in the night drop of a veterinarian. And I'm like, who does this sort of thing anyway? So they've come to be my passion too, a bit this last year particularly. And now Ricky's kind of moping around. He's like, who's this alien that just landed in my house? Yeah. But I think today they're already better. So I think it'll be a good match.
They both sound so sweet. I vote that if they come on screen, we should see them.
All right.
We could show off our dogs.
There you go.
Okay, Gina, what is one thing you own that you should really throw out?
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Some of my clothes I should actually throw out. And it's been interesting because during the pandemic, I both went down to a pretty good weight and now I'm up to a pandemic weight. So I keep going, well, I'll keep these old clothes in my closet because eventually I'll fit back into them, right? And what I do is throw out the bigger ones, but then I've got these small ones that now I can't fit into. So I'm going to work at it. Exercise is my New Year's goal, really, just getting out. I love to hike, but I haven't been doing so much of it this last few months in the fall. So hope to get back into that, but the clothes really need to go. And how about you?
I would say I may have the opposite problem of one thing that I should throw out is that I throw out too too much. When I don't I can like just get kind of careless and like it's clutter. I don't like it. And so I will just like go on like a cleaning rampage or an organizing rampage and I'll get rid of everything. And we don't need this anymore. And then of course, like within a few months, then I'm like, well, I needed a teapot and
Where did it go? It
donated
was
the teapot.
process.
Yeah, so I feel like that could be, if I ever, you know, have a little extra time, that could be a side business for me. People that need to purge and clean out their garages. You know, you have to leave the house and I'll take care of it for you. I will handle it. Yeah, but you got to hide the stuff that you want to keep forever, because I can be sort of savage when it comes to cleaning out the closets and stuff.
Yeah, well, you can come here anytime. All right. Okay. What is your favorite San Diego venue to perform in? And then what is your worldwide favorite venue?
Well, last year, year and a half, no, I guess it must have been almost 2 years ago now. I got to take my high school choir and sing down at the new Conrad Previs
Oh,
in La
where-
Jolla. And, it was
Yeah.
amazing. It sounded so good. And, you know, my high school group, we're so used to singing in our choir room. We don't have a really good performing space. And it was like so amazing for all of us to be able to like hear everything and hear one another. And it was it's so beautiful. Like every detail in that place is amazing. And I know that I was just about to talk about this, Carol, the San Diego Sings
Yep.
Festival 2022 is going to be at the Conrad Previs Performing Arts Center. I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, this space is so amazing. So I think locally, that's where I've personally been able to perform that I love. I need to check out the new Shell too. I haven't been down there yet, but everybody who's sung there or seen a concert there just, you know, is raving about it. So we've got some good spaces right here in San Diego. And I have to admit, I really haven't been around the world in venues yet. So maybe you can tell me where I need to go, Gina, if you've been to some amazing venues around the world.
Wow. Well, and I haven't, you know, I first of all, in San Diego, I love the Shell. I've been to a couple concerts there and it's been great, but I have not performed there per se. And we tend to perform at some, you know, not spectacular locations. We do a lot of nursing homes and a lot of, you know, private clubs and groups up here and that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the performances at the Conrad Previs Performing Center. Yes, sounds good. Around the world, I was fortunate a few years ago to be able to go to Cuba on a choir exchange with the American Choral Directors Association. And we performed in these amazing churches. They've kind of repurposed a lot of the churches in Havana with for the performing arts. And so I think we had a number, like 4 or 5 of them that we performed in. And it was just so cool because it was, you know, just the architecture was phenomenal and the acoustics were not awesome, but it was just cool being there. So I think that was one of my favorite things. And I got to accompany one of the Cuban national choirs, which was really fun too.
Awesome. When the pandemic's over, we've all got a lot of travel to do, huh?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yes. That's, I've been missing that for sure.
All right, Gina, who is an artist you'd most like to collaborate with?
I saw that question on the list and I'm like, you know, there's a lot of them, but there is a woman. Okay, so I took a Musicians Without Borders Train the Trainer training several years ago, also in actually near Amsterdam. And we had this one because I do community music. I'm not, you know, just a performer that goes around and just performs, but I work with community people to bring community and perform together. And there was a woman that led a session at this Musician Without Borders training, and her name is Nicolene Snaas, and Snaas. So if you look her up, she's in Amsterdam. She lives on a cool houseboat and all this, but she came in one night and she led us all in just improv singing. And oh my goodness, she had people dancing across the room singing and that sort of thing. And I actually contacted her and took a couple of kind of lessons, I guess, from her and got some ideas. And I'm really into having people do just improv singing. And she taught me a lot about that. So I would love to collaborate with her, not only because she knows a lot about that, but it's just her energy. She was so enthusiastic and got this group just moving. I mean, it was one of the highlights of the whole week. So she is one. How about you?
I've got this wacky idea that I don't know how I'm going to make it happen or if I can make it happen, but I've got this idea, Gina. Okay, so here it is. I would love to put on a concert of 90s pop punk music in choral settings. I'm thinking Blink-182. I don't know if you're familiar with that band. So Blink-182, Tom DeLonge is here in San Diego. Travis is just up the street hanging out with Kourtney Kardashian. I just have this idea of doing this wacky concert of choral settings of like 90s, pop punk or guilty pleasure sort of music. But having somebody from the band come and play in the band or be a sort of a soloist or whatever. And I have this cool idea or vision that it could be also a music education sort of like outreach. I don't know, getting to the young kids. But I feel like the 90s pop punk is really like speaking to, the people in my generation. I don't know how much the kids these days are into Blink-182, but that's a guilty pleasure for myself. I think it would be really fun. So Tom, if you're listening, I know you're really keyed into the choral scene here in San Diego. Tom, if you're listening, email me later and we'll figure it out wherever you want.
All right. Yeah, Ramona Community Singers is doing a Rocking Through the Ages. We're decided to do a concert.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, kind of a lot, not just 90s, but I think we're doing something from the 60s up. So sounds like fun with a band.
Sounds like you need a drummer. And so maybe if Travis is also listening, Travis can come and play the drums on all of your pop hits.
We do, yes, definitely. So, yep. All right. Oh, this is a hard one too. You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it?
My brain is always so busy with so much music. I think the song would have to be like 433 on repeat, right? Silence. I don't know that I really don't think I could pick one thing. I think it would drive me bonkers.
Yep.
It's interesting because I'm like a musician, so you'd think I would always have music playing, but I don't. And when my husband plays music, he loves to listen to like Italian opera and tenors and stuff while he's doing the dishes, and it's too much noise for me with all the hustle and bustle. So I think I'd have to go with nothing, like silence. There's enough music in my brain, in my head. How about you?
You know what? I absolutely agree with you. That's really interesting because, I just do music all day usually. And when I'm home, like, I don't know, reading or studying or whatever, I don't even put music on in the background usually. I often have it on in my car, but not even, sometimes I'll just listen to NPR or something like that. So I don't have this constant music going on in the background. So interesting that you should say that. I'm kind of like, I want some peace and quiet.
Quiet. I like to play Christmas music in the background at Christmas time, but yeah, otherwise NPR or podcasts or whatever that's in my car.
Yep.
All right, Gina, what are you grateful for right now?
Well, to have stayed alive during the pandemic and to stay mostly employed. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I have like several different musical jobs and they kind of change off and on. So Not just, well, if it had just been choral directing, I would have been unemployed, but with my church job, we were able to do online services in my living room. I did music on Zoom during the pandemic. And so I'm grateful for Zoom. I'm grateful for technology. I'm grateful that it's allowed me to continue to do music. I even put piano lessons online during the last couple of years because it's been really strange. And it was funny because I think I had a meeting with Carol, actually, from the Choral Consortium, and I had no idea. This was a few years ago, and I had no idea what Zoom was or how to use it. And I think I had an old computer at that time. And so now have learned a lot, which has sometimes been a headache. We did virtual choir performances last year, and the technology behind that and the detail work is just crazy, but we pulled it off. And so I guess I'm grateful for the technology and the ability to learn all this technology during the last couple of years and to stay afloat. And you?
I think a lot of the same. I'm feeling really grateful to just have all of my needs met, really. I mean, I've got a nice house to live in and food I'm in my refrigerator, and my kids are healthy and I'm healthy. And, like there's always something to be grumpy about or to think you need more, want more, go for something else. But at the end of the day, like I live in a beautiful place and I really do have, all the boxes checked as far as having a lot in my life. So I'm really thankful for that. And I'm also really grateful that, my family made it through the pandemic, and we were fortunate to not have it touch our lives in the same tragic way it's touched a lot of people, and we've stayed employed. And so, yeah, just happy, healthy, and we're good. That's what I'm grateful for.
Great. All right. What have you learned? I guess this relates to the other one. What have you learned about yourself during the pandemic?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know that it's so much about the pandemic or that I learned it through or because of the pandemic, but I was already sort of on this journey. We're talking about throwing out things earlier, right? So there's that book, the Marie Kondo, The Art of Decluttering or whatever it was. She's also got a Netflix show. And so it was like 2019 and into 2020, I decided I was going to Marie Kondo my life, right? I wanted to get rid of anything that wasn't truly like sparking joy. So whether that was like responsibilities that I felt like I needed to be taking on for whatever self-imposed reason, or jobs, or most of it's like stuff that I would put on myself. And so I made a conscious decision that anything that I was going to put energy and time and effort into really needed to be something that I was excited about and sparked joy. And I wasn't just doing it to make a paycheck or because I felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing as a mother or a wife or a choral conductor. So I'm getting there. And
how's that working? How is that working?
I mean, I feel like I'm in a place now where I'm just being a lot more choosy about how I want to spend my time and energy. And, if it feels like a drag, I'm just not engaging. Yeah, because there's plenty of things for us to be doing that can spark joy, right? And we only live once. So if it's not sparking joy, toss it out. That's where I'm at.
Well, good for you, because I think that's one thing that we all have learned during the pandemic is that life is really short, and do it now is kind of my motto too. It's like just do it now. But one thing I learned was through the Musicians Without Borders group. Again, they actually came up with kind of a support group, several sessions that we met, and we got together as a large group. So this is across multiple time zones and countries in the world and everything. And it was really a great experience. And one of the sessions, they had a set of questions that they asked us to fill out and think about. And one of the questions was, what do you have to let go during this time? And up until that meeting, I was kind of depressed. It was like, wow, I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything, and nothing is like it was, and blah blah. And that question really hit me. It was like, what do you have to let go? And I realized I had to let go of how things were, how things used to be. And as soon as I let go of that idea, more or less, I was able to create some new things. We had, with my church job, I had created kids videos for the preschools. So I did some of that with my accordion, and we created inspire videos with people sharing stories and songs and everything that we played during some of the church services online. And with my community choir, with Ramona Community Singers, I convinced our group that was like half of our choir that stayed together online in Zoom that we should do a virtual performance. And so we actually did 2 of them. And Justine Hansen from the San Diego Women's Choir was actually my inspiration. And so I was like, okay, what are they doing? They're putting on virtual choirs. So I'm going to do it. And the first one was tough, really tough. But I actually got a lot of buy-in to do the second one. And we invited musicians in the community and just figured our mission was to spread joy as usual through music. And it was something cool. So it was like giving up what's normal, what's the past, and moving on and learning new things.
Yeah, I think I've always had a very full plate in whatever I'm doing in my life, and I'm always adding more and adding more. And I kind of realized, well, if you take some of it off, then there's suddenly like room for something new and delicious that you maybe didn't realize that you could do or have time for. And I found that to be kind of the same thing, where I'm finding new opportunities when I have like the brain space and the space in my calendar, right, to be just thinking creatively about what do I want to do next. So that's been really fun too.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to ask you the next question. What upcoming project are you most excited about?
Well, with the choir, with the Ramona Community Singers, like I mentioned earlier, we are planning to do a Rocking the Ages concert. I don't know where yet. I don't even know when exactly, but that's the plan, to do some classics through the ages. So we are kind of intergenerational. So we're going to have, things from the 60s up till the present. And it'll be really interesting to see what song selection we have. So that's exciting. In my quest to bring people together through music and the arts, one of the things that I was planning to do, which is really not so musical exactly, was to bring people together in small groups over dinner, and then have people either bring a story about a particular theme. The dinner would be about a theme, and have people bring a story, a song, or a piece of artwork, and combine all of the arts into this theme and be able to talk about it without judgment, without, just be able to talk about a theme. And because I realize there's kind of a lack of, everybody's polarized, everybody's kind of afraid to speak up. And so I would like to create one of these groups. And so I hope to do it in 2022. We did sort of a prototype at the Agape House at San Diego State. And we had students and friends come in, and even kids join in with this dinner, and we had one guy do a whole rap song that he wrote, and a child bring in a piece of art that they wrote, and that they drew. And it was just really fun. So I'd like to do things like that too.
Sounds cool. I'll come.
All right, you're invited. And how about you?
So I suppose something that just came onto my schedule, my radar, is I was just asked to be the treble choir director for the San Diego Unified Honor Choir this spring. And I'm so excited because, as I mentioned earlier, when I was in college, my passion for treble chorus was really sparked, and I've been kind of like waiting for a moment to have my own treble chorus to kind of put my hands on. And so this is really excited for me, and I'm totally geeking out trying to pick exactly the perfect repertoire for them. And I'm so excited to work with them. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that.
All right. Congratulations. That sounds like fun too. All right. What is something you still want to accomplish long term, it says?
I would say outside of music, when I think about retirement, I've always said I want to be a yoga instructor and barista in retirement, which I don't think that like musicians and choral musicians ever actually retire. Like, I don't think we ever really stop. So I don't know,
Exactly.
what retirement looks like. But yeah, I've always been drawn to yoga and kind of thought I would like to teach it someday. And I think that would be a really fun retirement job. And there's these really cool retreats that you can go on where you get certified in Costa Rica and beautiful locations. So I'd like to just take a few weeks to go live in somewhere beautiful and become a yoga instructor. And so that's like something that I'm looking forward to.
All
Like
right. That
30
sounds
or
like
40 years.
fun in Costa Rica. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You can do one of those videos. Yeah. Travel the world with yoga videos. That sounds
Yeah.
fun. That sounds great.
How about you? What are you looking forward to accomplishing?
Oh, wow. I am an explorer for sure, and I love travel, and I've been really missing exploring and traveling and all the above during the pandemic. And so I have 2 continents I have to hit yet. So I have to go to South America somewhere, and I have to go to Africa somewhere. And fortunately, I have all these great musical connections. And so I have people I could actually visit and kind of get a local view of these places. I know a choir director in Kenya, and then I know people in Chile, and that's something. But my bucket list is like 2 miles long, and I'm not sure if I'll ever get everything done. I hope not, because I'd have to. It would just be over, I guess. So those are 2 things that I really want to, or 2 places I'd really like to travel to.
Awesome. All right, Gina, where can we find out more about you and your choirs?
Choirs. Yeah, I used to have, well, I don't have a church choir any longer, but we may be working on that. I'm not quite sure. But right now, and Ramona Community Singers really needs to get a website up. But right now we have a Facebook page that you can find out about us. It's just facebook.com/Ramona Community Singers. And I've equally been bad about putting my own website together, but I do have a special Facebook Music Lady page. So I have all of my musical events and jobs and things on that. So it's facebook.com/that-music-lady. So that's how you can find out more about me. How about you?
Amazing. So the CSUSM website, that's all of our information is right there. And we post videos of our concerts. Our winter concert should be done soon, so I'll be editing a couple little transition slides together and hopefully getting that posted before the holiday. But our spring concert's on there too, so you just Google music department CSUSM, you'll find us.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Justine and Gina. It's been a real pleasure having you and getting to know you guys. Hopefully we'll get some people checking out your choirs after seeing how fun you guys are on this video. Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Carol, for asking that. Yes, absolutely. This past semester, we had a community member, Karen Johns, She was in the church choir at San Marcos Lutheran when I was the director there. She's become one of my favorite humans, one of my favorite singers, and she came and sang with us all semester long. And I loved having her in the group. And then my husband actually sang too, because he hasn't had a place to sing in a while, and he's a wonderful tenor. And so he popped in and sang with us. So community members and also high school students are allowed to come and take the class for credit. They can do it for, no credit if they prefer, but why not get that college credit while you're still in high school? So we're Monday nights, 5:30 to 7:30. And sometimes we go till 8 with small groups, but yeah, community and high school, come sing with us.
Great.
Excellent. Again, thank you so much. That's awesome. So again, you can check out their choirs where they mentioned. You can also check out tons of San Diego choirs at the Choral Consortium website, sdsings.org. And of course, if you are so moved to support programs like this around San Diego, feel free to drop us a donation. We've got some exciting stuff coming up. Your choir will be back, and we'll be back with more choral conductor conversations, and you can check out our website for information on that. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night, and Happy New Year.
Right.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Bye.